Hello and welcome back to the Weird and Proud podcast. It's Sam
Fucking
and
jazzy.
James.
Was that New Year's Eve jazzy?
New Year's Eve jazz. When you guys listen to this, it'll be 2024. And obviously, apologies in advance that it is not live. We had this grandiose idea of doing a live stream, but it's a lot more complicated, and with so many moving parts going on in the background, just with the doggos and it being New Year's Eve. I know a lot of people, most people had plans and they're like, just make sure you record it if I watch it later. So, or they're out to dinner or whatever, and we just couldn't pick a time. And we're like, you know what, we'll just record it. And then now you can just listen to it, and we're obviously drinking. We will be, and we are drinking. Cheers, James. And we have this
Cheers.
nice little fancy glassware that my sister-in-law got us for Christmas.
Thank you, Sammy D.
And we're just drinking a little Prosecco, last drinking of the year for a little bit. But we're gonna do like a special little New Year's episode, looking back on the last year. We haven't shared these with each other yet. So
We
this
have
is going to
not.
be a nice surprise. I'm kind of interested to see what yours are, honestly.
But I think mine are going to end up kind of boring, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
But we're not just reviewing the year, because everyone reviews the year.
Mm-hmm.
We're also making some predictions for next year, looking forward.
Yes. So we're each going to do the 5 best things that came from this year, the 5 weirdest things that happened this year, our 5 predictions for next year. And then we were talking about like doing like the lows of this year. Like I have a couple, but we were like, it might be the weird.
My lows might be the weird stuff.
Yeah.
And I could have dug deeper on weird, but I wanted to go. I think mine are more like a weird and then my perspective on why that's weird.
Okay. Wow. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Then I'm interested to see what this is.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a little bit of a review episode, little bonus. Everyone else is taking the week off. People are taking time off, but no. And this is episode 50.
I know.
Which is crazy. 50 weeks, almost a year of doing the podcast, and we're so grateful that you all are here and all the support and the love and calling in with the secrets. It's been so much fun. I think that's one of my big goals for next year is to grow the podcast and to keep growing YouTube obviously as well, to keep creating more content from the podcast. So we're only going up. We're only going up from here. Oh, as I knock everything over. And also, since we last left off last week, I think it's good to give the people a Peach update if you're not following along.
Peach update.
The last time we did this podcast, I was literally out of my mind.
You may have rented.
I was a basket. I may have vented, and I apologize. But then I did cry for like 2 hours afterwards to James.
True. It was a good sesh.
Would like to report since then, I've been getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night.
Amazing. Most importantly.
So I am like more level-headed. I haven't cried since like last week.
Really? I wasn't sure if you stuck a few cries in there without me.
I haven't. No, I've actually been, especially like today was a really big day for Prue and Peach.
Huge day.
And I would say the biggest thing since last week, well, first of all, we did obviously go to Maine for the holiday, and that trip, which I was so nervous for and so anxious that it was going to be horrible and I was going to be worried the whole time and they were just going to be hating each other. And it was like probably the best thing we did.
Yep.
A lot of neutral territory. Prue got a lot of love from everyone there. There was other dogs. So it was just lots of space too for them to run around. Like both my parents have big backyards. So they got to like really kind of like see each other in a different light, I feel like.
For sure.
So that was really nice. That was super helpful. And Peach is doing so well in her crate. That's the second best thing. Best thing we ever did was start to crate her. Like that has been hands down, because now we can again sleep. She sleeps pretty much all night.
Yep.
And if we need a couple hours, we can put her in the crate. Like if we need to run around and do errands, or like even recording the podcast now, we have her in the crate. And she's been doing so well. We got a little baby, like literally newborn baby.
She's snug as a bug in a rug.
Yeah, we have a little baby sound machine for her. So she has her sounds in there. And her and Prue have been getting along so well today. So things are looking up. It's not official yet. Of course, everyone's asking, is it official? Have you officially adopted her? We haven't yet. Actually, tomorrow's gonna be 2 weeks of Peach. But it was another big turning point today.
We haven't hit any major red flags yet.
Yeah.
Everything has been pretty status quo.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's your Peach update. And that has obviously been an end of the year highlight, I feel like, too, for
Huge end of the year highlight.
so what do you say, James? Are you ready to dive
I
in?
think we should dive in because we want to get this taken care of. I also want to apologize about the live stream. Sometimes I
Yeah,
say
apologize to the
things
people.
and yeah, there's
Sometimes
a
he
lot more
says things.
complexity to it than I think.
Yeah, it was gonna be way more complex and like to record it too at the same time, and it was just gonna be a pain in the ass. And I just want to make sure it was good quality. And like just to transfer it over to the podcast from YouTube, it was gonna like I just was like, you know what?
We'll make up for it
We will
sometime.
make up for it. We will do a live stream at one point. I just need to do more research into it and have a little bit more time.
We need more.
But a lot of people did say we like the idea of a live stream. It just is tough. Like I know people have plans tonight.
Traveling, holidays, there was a lot of things that got in the way.
Yeah. And Peach, like that was, there were a couple things the last week that I wanted to get to, but we didn't. And
Yeah.
that's like caroling. I was thinking about that too. We never got to do our Christmas caroling,
There's
but I
only
was too
so much
busy
bandwidth
crying.
we have for stuff, and with
There
new little,
is.
and it's all been worth it to have little peaches around.
It has. And I think, again, it's going to keep Prue young. And I feel like in months, we're going to look back and be like, oh my God,
I,
wasn't that so wild?
I already am pretty happy about it. So
I know. Really, really big moments
I'm
today.
sticking with the nickname Peachums. I like calling her
Peach.
Peachums.
That was the other big question too, is if we'll keep Peach. I think Peach and Prue are like,
I don't know
couldn't get
at
better.
this point why we would change it. She starts to know her name. I don't
Yeah.
want to retrain her on her
Yeah.
name.
And Peach, like, she is a peach. And it's kind of perfect. Prue and Peach. I keep by an accent, I'll be like, Preach.
Which is a great
Their couple
name for
name,
them. Yep.
Preach. Anyway, so that's the update on Peach, but let's get into our top 5.
Ready. Let's get
Top
into
5
it.
low 5 weird 5s.
Which one
I
do you want
think
to start with?
I think let's start with the best.
Okay.
Um and then we'll go one at a time. Like, and this is in no particular order. It's kind of hard to rank.
Oh,
Like,
mine are in order.
oh, they are.
Oh, mine are going. Mine will be in a specific order.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, we'll go back. So I'll say one, then you say one. We'll go back and forth. Does
Okay.
that work?
Yeah.
Okay, so I said for number 1 was going to Fiji. I'm sure a lot of these are also gonna be the
A
same.
lot of these are going to be very much the same.
Fiji, celebrating our 10-year anniversary there, celebrating my birthday there. Going to Fiji was like bucket list dream trip, and being able to go there to this resort. I mean, there were of course a couple things I wish, the cyclone and some of the rain, but it was a pretty amazing, incredible trip. What about you?
I'm gonna start backwards.
Okay. Oh, from like the
Yeah.
5
I'm gonna
working up?
start 5.
Okay.
And the reason this one is 5, it's really hard to put this 5
Okay.
because there's reasons it could be higher on the list.
Okay.
But then I have to go through my honorable mentions to say what didn't make the list
Okay.
to put this in perspective.
Okay.
Number 5 for me was Spain.
Yep. It's on my
It's
list.
probably
too.
on your list.
Yep.
I loved Spain. I loved the culture. The spot your mom has picked out is utterly amazing.
And hopefully we're also planning to go back there again this year
Like,
to go see her.
that just seeing the culture and getting to
Yeah, Spain was awesome.
spend some time and not really it's a vacation, but it's a more staycation because we
Yeah,
were just
we were
hanging
staying
out
with
with
my
your mom.
mom. Yeah.
And you got to see really how the culture was in a non like touristy sense.
Yeah, we weren't in like any of the big touristy cities either. It was
And
like,
it wasn't a touristy time.
yeah, totally.
Loved Spain.
Yep.
That was number 5.
Okay. My other one was Spain too.
Okay.
So I was just gonna say Spain, and I was saying, happy for my mom for getting her place. Like, kind of that was a big happy moment too. My mom got to retire, and seeing her like getting her own spot. Obviously, she's been through some rough times over the last decade or so, and it was really, she used to be a stay-at-home mom, and then she now has grown. She grew her real estate business and was like the number 1 real estate agent in New England. and like totally worked her way up, and then she got to retire in Spain. That was a pretty cool, proud moment, proud daughter moment. All right, what's your number 4?
Number 4,
What?
this, the
Podcast?
podcast.
I put that too.
Number 4, podcast is on my list as number 4. Thank you mostly.
Yeah.
Well, you do all the work, but the listeners, because we wouldn't have it
Yes.
without you.
No, literally. And I want to say too, some people leave the sweetest voicemails. And you're not even calling to like leave a weird secret, but
I
will
never get to
just,
hear those.
I know I should share them to
No,
you.
I should ask more.
Well, I sometimes I'll let you listen. I'll be like, oh my God,
You're
someone left this.
you did. You have. I'm kidding. I'm
Um,
kidding.
but like, you have no idea. I wish I could respond to them, but they're anonymous.
I
But
love all of you that listen to the podcast. I love the secrets. I love these call-ins that I don't know about. I love to get to sit here and chat with you about
I
life
know
in the
it's
day.
fun.
It's kind of, you guys might not know this. This is sometimes our time to sit and catch up with
Yeah,
each
I
other.
know.
We're
Even
just
though we
gonna
live
catch
together,
up on what's going on
obviously.
in life.
Yep.
But the podcast is definitely on my top 5.
Yeah, for sure. Then my other one was the Taylor Swift concert. Do you have yours? Do you have that too?
I do.
You do?
Except
It's
I
Packers.
cheated and I bucketed it.
MetLife
events. I did.
That's
Because I
good.
needed the Packer game and Taylor Swift on there.
Yep.
Just the Taylor Swift phenom. And I got to see Aaron Rodgers at the Taylor
And you
Swift
got
concert. So that counts.
yes,
But
true.
the MetLife events.
MetLife
Those
events.
two
I know
were
because I was thinking
epic.
too, like the Packers game, but obviously,
That's not for you. I don't
yeah.
expect you to
But
put
it was still the Packers game is really fun. Honorable mention.
I can't put Taylor Swift without putting the Packers on. That's
Yeah.
just me. That is my Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that was honestly one of the best nights ever. You were so supportive. I mean, if you guys hadn't seen these, you need to go back. I have a Taylor Swift highlights in my Instagram. James was the biggest Swiftie I've ever seen in my life.
She's awesome.
Sang
She's
all
a
the
business mogul.
songs.
I know all the songs.
James is such a Swiftie. It's really actually so nice because that would be hard if you weren't or you like didn't like her, but you were singing the songs, you had the merch and the outfits.
I bought the guy next to me a couple beers.
Yeah, the guy next to us with his cute daughter. He was like this older
with
guy
yeah,
with like his
exactly.
young daughter, and James was buying him beers. It was really cute. That was really, really fun. All right, then what was it was third, I think we're on?
That was 3.
Yep.
So they MetLife events.
Yep.
Number 2.
What?
Peach and Prue and the kitties.
I have that too.
I knew you
All
would.
right, I put the animals.
Could I not? Like just watching how the cats have responded, and all 4 cats have had a dog come in already.
Yes.
Prue
yeah, we've talked
is
about
the only one that has not had something
an
new
animal come in. Yep.
So seeing how this dynamic not only has worked out, but just seeing how happy Peach made you in general when we were at Puppy Yoga.
Yeah.
And I knew that this was a possibility.
Yep.
And then it definitely became a reality. Just having Peach, like, I feel like we've maxed the space for animals. So
what? What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
But it has been amazing to have little Peachums around.
Yeah, Peachums.
Just watch, but also not putting Peach over the other animals. The dynamic of the family together.
Totally. Yeah, it's been the dynamic. It's been like watching how good the cats are and how good Prue has been. Like, even though, there have been still some little hiccups with
Prue has
food.
done better than I expected, faster than I expected.
Yeah, definitely. It's, it's been really, really cool just to watch her progress and like kind of take this motherly role in a way.
Exactly. And this is where we now know, we knew what Prue's triggers were going to be, but now that we're seeing how she does behave with them, we also just have to keep being smart about when we know Prue's going to get triggered, what can we do to distract her?
Yeah. Peach definitely knows how to push her buttons. That's for sure.
Peach does not have an off button.
She doesn't. And I think too, we've talked about, it's going to get better with time. Once Peach kind of settles down, like right now, she just has so much energy. So like
Nala just literally fat girled her today. Nala sat on her.
Our
it was
big
so
cat
funny.
just like sat on her today.
Peach was being too much, and Nala just kind of splattered her, and she gave up, and she learned fast.
Gave up.
It was so funny.
And then the other one, what did I say? Oh, I said doing my live shows.
That will be on my honorable mention list.
Yes. So doing my live shows, getting to travel around, meet so many of you guys. Like that was another big part too. Like, getting to go out to the Midwest, getting to go, to Boston, Philly. It's like New York City shows. It's just, it's really cool to be Texas. I was like, where? There's a big one missing. When we went to Texas and did, I mean, Austin was like one of the funnest trips this year too. Like that.
I should have bucketed. You know what? I should have bucketed. I would take
What?
probably I would move I'd have to move Spain and put your shows in there. The
Yeah.
Midwest trip in particular,
Yeah.
but that's a favorite for me because of my family. I love the
Yeah.
Midwest, like
Yeah.
the crazy crew we met in Iowa,
Oh my
like
God.
and being in Chicago because I love Chicago,
Yeah.
and then getting home.
Then going
Like
to
the Midwest trip is
Wisconsin and
number one on my like honorable mention
yeah,
list. That
definitely.
hands down.
And then I think that was like, because then I had Peach and the animal. So I think that's my top five. Did you have any
I
other
still have
top
my
five
number
moments?
one,
Oh, what's your number
which was
one?
Fiji,
Fiji.
which
Yeah,
I
yeah,
consider a celebration of you and just how much I love you.
yeah.
And you planned it for us. You got everything taken care of, and it was amazing. And we got to just spend a bunch of time and not hear a car for 10 days.
And not hear a car, not hear
I got to go
sirens.
snorkeling every day. That was
Oh my
my
God.
selfish part of Fiji.
Yeah, that was honestly one of the best trips ever.
Yeah.
But it better have been by the price that we paid.
Well, the thing is, it was worth it. That's the
It was
beauty
worth
of
it.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not like
Totally.
we're saying we paid too much for it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it better been, yeah, with the travel too. But
Yep.
again, worth it. All right. So now I think we get into the weird. So we'll go to weird and then we'll end predictions.
Got it.
So my we'll just go back and forth again. I got my second Guinness World Record this year. And I feel like that's pretty weird. So if you guys don't know, obviously I have Guinness World Record for the largest mouth gape for a woman, but I also this year got the Guinness World Record for the widest mouth in the world. So, which was just so funny. It just actually ended up being um like they had reached out and they're like, by the way, send in, or I think they already had my measurements, but they were like, there was a guy who had passed away who had, again, only had like one gender. And they were like, technically now your mouth is the widest. And so I kind of got it on like a easy way,
That counts.
but it counts. So I think that's pretty weird.
That's really weird.
Yeah,
See, I think your weirds are going to be better than my weird.
that's
But
okay.
here's some, here's some of mine are just like by weird. I think I mean shocking.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go number 5 is my selfish one.
Yep.
Is Aaron Rodgers no longer being the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
come on, he was a staple for
Yes,
18 years.
yes,
And with how much I
yes.
love the Pack, imagine Taylor Swift saying she's not going to tour anymore.
Oh my God. Dead.
That's basically what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then Jordan Love doing a great job. And
Mhm.
the weird part of it was Aaron Rodgers snapping his Achilles 4 plays into the season.
That is
That is
crazy.
bizarre.
That's
That is
crazy.
bizarre.
No, and this is why I think this is funny too, because weird can be like, it can mean different things. So that's why I'm interested to see the other ones. But so what was my other? Oh, I stopped drinking for like 3 to 4
You did
months.
really well with that.
And I thought that was really weird. Obviously I'm drinking now. So, but I really slowed down my drinking. Obviously the last couple months I'd kind of picked it up a little bit because we were traveling and all that. But really from like January to like, there were a couple times I'd have a couple drinks, but like till June, even when we were in Austin, I wasn't drinking.
No.
So, and I really was trying not to drink when I was doing shows. So that was pretty crazy. And I felt really, really good. Obviously, I'm not fully sober. I'm California sober. I love my devil's grass. My
California
medical.
sober. I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
My medicine, my pharmacist gives it to me. But yeah, that was pretty weird. And I think I'm going to do it again. And I am doing for January too. We'll go over our resolutions for
Yeah,
next year.
we can
But
go over that.
yeah. So what's yours? What's your second or
All
your
right.
fourth?
My next one, I'm just going to throw this one out there because
Throw it
this is the
out.
start of like a lot of mine are nature centered
Okay.
because it's always you learn something new that you don't expect.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the rats in our backyard as number 4.
The rats run
So
this house.
literally, like it
Oh my
seems
god,
so
the
simple.
rats.
We've had the same backyard, and
Oh my
I
god,
to
that's so
kind of take
funny.
care of it for years now. And I have a compost pile back there for
Yes,
us. And
yes,
I'm a
James is a big
compost Nazi.
composter.
Yes, I'm huge, not on food. I don't like food waste.
Yeah, James
And
is really against food waste,
and
everyone.
then all of a sudden, and it was a sad thing because the bunnies were there and we knew that the rats were
Yes.
taking over. Rats are into we learned so much about rats, and we got rid of them in a week once we learned about it without killing them. Nothing violent.
Yep, and we didn't even use, like, poison, we used,
Nope,
like,
we used an
natural
all
stuff.
natural thing that we found that
What was it, spearmint? There was, like, some things that rats hate.
spearmint lavender. Spearmint was the major
Yeah,
scent.
because we
And
also didn't want Prue, because Prue's out there, so we're
yep,
like, "We don't want any poison in the
can't
yard,
I'm
and I
not
don't wanna
no
kill
way. You know how I
them."
feel about that. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
even like poison for ants in the house. But
yeah.
the rats were weird
The
because you really
rats.
learned
That was
very quickly
crazy.
about how nature can change how you look at your own
Yeah,
backyard really quick.
yep,
And maybe
totally.
that's part of the weird stuff is how do you take something that might seem somewhat normal and it's like, wow, this was really I could hear about other people's weird stuff, like
Yep.
the dude with two penises or right? There's weird that
Right.
we've talked about, but that to me was weirder than that.
That was a crazy time, and they had taken over, like, that was. And if, again, if you're following on Instagram, I had talked about this in our stories, but we had these amazing bunny family in the backyard that I was obsessed with. I was, like, trying to feed them every day, and then all of a sudden, they were gone, and we found these rats.
Yep.
And I didn't even know rats, like, could take over a yard in Connecticut. I didn't even know that that was, like, a thing,
They did, and we learned
but they did,
fast.
and we learned fast. That's a good one. I put another weird thing, which we had just talked about today, but how we broke our own wall.
That is a good one. Yes. Yes.
And again, if you watch on social media, we broke a wall. And it was like in March. I think it was like March, April this year. I just reposted it because it is like you cannot make that stuff up. We have an older house and we were trying to do one of our James, one of our little challenges. And it was just so funny too, because I'm like, this is like the only wall we have. Like, it literally was the only wall that just didn't have things hanging on it or
Yep.
like had anything on it. And my ass went straight through the wall, straight through the drywall. I mean, we laughed
If
right
you
after
watch
the
it,
shock wears off. Like, we both were like, wait, did that just really happen? It was like, oh my God, I can't believe if we hadn't gotten that on camera, I would have been
it's
even more
probably the only
pissed.
line that I've had in any of the
Yeah, yeah,
videos.
because James
I literally
very
just go, "Oh fuck."
fuck. So great watch if you haven't seen that. It's just good on a rainy day. But that was pretty weird, and it still has not been 100% fixed yet. It's like the drywall's been fixed. We just haven't like painted over it, so we just get to be reminded of it every time we go into the kitchen, which is kind of gorgeous. What's your third one?
Ready for 3?
Yep. Oh God.
Follow me.
Oh God.
The ability of not just NASA, but other uh, other entities like NASA throughout the world, how much information they're getting about space, and we still know so little about it. I'm going to give a
Yes.
few examples of some discoveries over the last 12 months that NASA found out. Again, each of these are their own unique, but the really weird thing is how much we're learning.
Yep.
And what's happening is anytime you find a new way in science of tracking something, right? Like we didn't know what the genetic code was, right? Where you have these 4 amino acids that interact with each other to make your genes.
Yep. Yeah.
Now that we do, we've coded the entire genetic code with the genomic, right? We
Yep.
found a way to track something. NASA has found some new ways to look at stuff. And so, like, some of these are the most powerful light from the sun ever emitted, right?
Yep.
That was something that NASA, we as humans, discovered then. And now
Make sure you're keeping your mouth towards the
sorry,
camera
this
again.
thing is being
You're
funky for
getting
me.
ads.
Yes, hold on. Number 2, we talked about this one on the podcast.
Yep.
The Vela pulsar smashes the gamma ray energy record. Remember we talked about that one?
How did we like? I feel like I knew that you were gonna go down like a science rabbit hole on
Yeah.
all these.
This one, these are important. So
These
maybe
are
this one would
important,
be number
James.
2, but like just the amount that we're learning. Hey, and then the big one is they found again, this is being slow and I'm sorry, but I do need to find there's one more on here that you would really like. They found the strongest level of radio waves from the
Hmm.
furthest away possible. And this all ties back to the idea of how we could hear or learn from other life
Aliens?
forms that might be out there that we don't know about. Exactly.
Interesting.
We
James,
might
you're
not be able
such
to
a
interact
nerd.
with them,
You're
but
literally such a
that
nerd.
was on my weird list.
Also for Christmas, so like obviously like at this point in our lives, like my parent, it's like gifts are always hard, but we always try and find like something thoughtful. And well, me and James had mentioned to my dad how much like we're obsessed with this app called Skyview. And if you there's a free version of it, and you literally it's an app, and you point it up at the sky, and it tells you, like, you can click on each star or planet, and it tells you like how far away it is, the information about that star, like how it was formed. Like, it's so cool. We've been obsessed with it. And my dad got us a, why can I not think of the word of it? I
Telescope?
was gonna say a stethoscope.
That would be for doctors.
I know. I was like, wait, that's not right. Telescope. And like we haven't even had a chance to play with it yet because it's been cloudy.
And it's
But
not one of those, much like how I miscalculated how much work it is to do a live stream. I think that you think it's going to be easy to put that thing together. So it's going to
yeah,
take a little more time, energy, and effort
I know,
to put this thing
I know. But
together.
it was just so funny. I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. So
That's on my list tomorrow. I
I
ain't
hope
going
we
to
can
bed till
like, I
that's
wish
done.
we could like take pictures through it.
That's
I
what I'm
wonder if you
wondering.
can do, if you
There's
can like
things
digital
you can do.
capture.
I don't know. They have to have their own system in there, but
Yeah.
I want to see what the capabilities are.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to take pictures through something like that would be cool.
Right.
I'm excited. I'm excited to look at Saturn's rings through that thing. Saturn should still be
Rings.
visible this time of year, so we should be able to find it.
Riveting stuff. Another weird thing that I said was I was just thinking about to our Midwest trip,
Okay.
and I was doing these shows like in this random place in Iowa, Dubuque, Iowa.
Dubuque.
And there's like, it was part of like this huge building, and the comedy club was like in the like the basement level of
Yep.
this building. But then on the second floor, they had this huge wedding venue, or like a venue
Oh,
for. And so after one of my shows, there were, a couple people hanging out with us after we were having some drinks at the bar, and we heard music and like people coming from the venue. We went in there. It was a wedding, and we like totally crashed this wedding. We're like in jeans. The bride knew who I was, so we're like taking shots with the bridal party, and I was like, this is so Iowa.
it was so much fun.
It was so fun. That was pretty weird, but that was a great night.
I should have flip flopped these. The NASA should have been ahead of this one in number 2. But here is something that was really weird. If you remember this, because it happened
Yeah.
throughout the whole country.
What?
The smoke from the wildfires in Canada.
Yeah.
Remember, like, air quality. Remember checking what the air quality was all the time?
Yeah.
And Wisconsin, my family had to go
Oh
through
my
it.
God.
Your
This made me
family.
think that I didn't put on there. What was that?
I have it on here.
You do.
Yep. That was my number 1.
What was
The submarine.
the
submersive.
submarine?
That's my number 1.
That took over everyone's mind. Like, I couldn't do anything without knowing where these
That's
people
why
were.
when you said weirdest, and probably that is what took me down this nature trail
Yeah.
versus like digging into other things.
Yeah.
I wanted to stick with stories I knew and not find something new. I
Yeah.
didn't want to like go, oh, that's weird that happened, but I didn't know about it till I was searching.
Right.
I wanted to stick with what are things I kind of
we
knew
remember.
about.
Yeah.
And hands down, the submarine.
Yeah,
There
that was
yeah,
insane.
that was the
I
first
wonder
thing.
when we're gonna like hear more from that from the company, because like it just kind of happened, and then
Oh, they covered it up. I mean, not covered it up.
yeah,
They
but like it
squashed
just
everything. Yep.
like it just like disappeared. Like no one's talking about the
I
submarine.
I just wonder, and again, not in a conspiracy theory way, but what better term to use than hush money? They had to have paid off family members of these people that
That's
died.
why I'm
So
like, where are
no,
the families? Like being like,
but
I'm sure they signed crazy ass.
there you go.
Yeah.
And if I owned a submarine company, I would
Yeah,
probably
be
have
like, if
people
you
sign the
die,
same
like you
thing.
can't sue us.
Yeah, there's stuff in gym memberships about if you die, you can't sue us. Like,
What?
oh yeah, if you like die on a treadmill, that's
Yeah,
you need to be medically
I
cleared.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, it's
stuff,
not the
and
gym's
if it's a
fault.
gym membership, but if you're going on a submarine where they paid what $250,000,
Right.
they probably
And
have
I'm
a
sure they
pretty.
were told there's a very, very low chance anything bad.
They probably have an airtight, pun intended,
Yeah.
waiver that you
Contract.
form.
Yeah. A lot of lawyers involved there.
The submarine was by hands down weirdest.
Yeah. And then those are my top 5. Did you have any others? Weird
No,
moments?
the smoke wildfires in the submarine.
Yep.
The smoke wildfires was weird because it's
Oh my
without
God, I
thinking about it.
forgot, because like our own. Oh my
We
God,
couldn't
I
go
forgot
outside.
about that. What?
People couldn't go outside all over the country.
Oh my god, I forgot about
That
that.
just simple wildfires, which, by the way, climate
That was
change.
crazy.
Yeah,
We
there's a
could
reason there's more of them.
Oh my god, because a lot of people too who aren't like from the Northeast didn't get hit. Well, no,
The
there was some
Midwest
people.
did.
Midwest got hit bad, but and obviously California deals with it all the time. But we have never seen that bad of like
It was night during the day
it was
almost.
night.
Yeah.
That was insane. And for
Weird,
like a
right?
week, we had to wear like a mask outside.
Maybe I will
That
keep
felt so
maybe I
apocalyptic.
will keep that as my number 2 then.
Yeah.
There's a reason I think I read it that way.
Yeah, totally forgot about
Yeah,
that.
those were my
That
weird
was
stories.
insane. My
The
god.
submarine and that were actually somewhat close-ish in my brain. I didn't look up the dates, but I think
I know, I can't remember what that
calendar-wise,
was
they
like in the
yeah.
summer. It was when it was
I
warmer.
think that those 2 were so close to each other that they were like one big news story, and then when the fight I think it was the fires were started first and the smoke, and then
Yeah.
those kinda tapered off, and then this submarine thing happened, and it was like and those were
Yeah,
just 2
that was
huge news stories.
crazy. I totally forgot about that. I like have pictures from like yeah, the
It was
air quality. Like I remember like normally it's like I forget what the scale is. I think it's like up to 500 is like when it's like you go outside and you're
but
like
you could
gonna
look at your
die.
app and it would say,
But it would say like
"Don't go outside,"
350, 400
and it
when
would
it's
tell you,
normally like 20.
Don't go outside."
Yeah, and it'd be like,
Yep.
"Do not go outside." Like, we couldn't walk Prue, like, we couldn't let the pets out. Oh my god, that was, like, a terrifying thing. Oh
It
my
smelled like
god.
smoke in the house
That
24/7,
was
like yeah.
insane. It hurt your eyes, like, you would go outside and you couldn't, like, open your
Yep.
eyes.
I teared up when when I did bring Prue out, and I remember I had to go do some work stuff, and they were telling us to be safe, and I just went and did one thing, thinking it would be okay.
Yeah,
By the time I got back, like I had to take my contacts out.
yeah,
It was horrible.
yeah. Oh my god, that was crazy.
Yep.
Okay. I think it's time for the predictions, James.
5 predictions.
Yeah.
All right.
So, my number 1 is, of course, also hopeful thinking that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce get engaged. That would be huge. Also, I would love a Reputation album from Taylor. And also, like, Taylor, where's the OG album? My Swifties will know. Like, I would also love the OG Taylor Swift to come out. Like, I need the Taylor Swift version of our song, like Teardrops on My Guitar. Like, I need it. I need it. So that's my prediction. I need all the other albums.
Can I give
And
you the
then
one that I put that related to that? Because
what?
I figured you would have that.
Yes.
I put that Travis Kelce does a Tom Brady retirement from football, meaning he retires and
No,
then
he's too
comes
young.
back.
Oh, he's way
He's
too
not
young.
that young as a football player.
What, 30?
He's mid-30s,
Is he?
which is a tight end is
Yeah.
it's getting up there.
Damn.
I think he will semi-retire because his brother's probably going to. His brother semi almost retired last year. Jason did.
Really? He
Yeah, Jason,
did?
he was totally going to retire.
Wow, the
Only reason he
drama.
came back was but Jason's older than he is,
Mm.
and he plays a much harder position, like a
Yeah.
much more brutal position on your body. And he almost retired. And a lot of linemen talk about it, but I think that Travis will take it a step further and maybe even semi-retire and then come back. Brady
Yeah.
did the same thing.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yep.
My prediction is that we go to Lambeau Field for a Packers game.
I will call them right now.
This is manifestation of like maybe like Packers.
I will call them
If we have any
right
like
now.
Packers connections, like get you like on the field.
I have a whole bunch of Packers connect.
Oh, really? Can you get on the field?
We can figure that out.
Oh, really? Okay, let's get on the
You wanna
field.
get on the fucking
Get me first.
We'll be there tomorrow. What are we doing?
All right. I mean, not right now. I say we go early in the season when it's warm,
Yeah, you would have to. I don't know if you'd
like
survive a
September, like
Wisconsin
the
winter.
first week.
Yeah. No, that's fine. We can go for the home opener.
That's what I'm thinking. Like literally early.
Oh my God.
Should we?
You're literally the best.
I
That's
know.
amazing.
I know.
And out there in Door County in September,
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Gorge.
The cherries are blooming and
The
you love cherries. Hey,
cherries. I love
Wisconsin
a
has some of the best
cherry.
cherries in the country.
Okay.
You would love
Sure,
it.
I'd love to try your cherries.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
I
good
know.
one.
I know, James. I know. What's yours next?
All right. Next one. I think that there is going to be a record number of people who go back to watch movies this year in the theater.
Ooh.
I know that doesn't seem big, but the reason I'm putting it out there is it's going to be whenever there's a major change, like we're talking apocalyptic changes in society, aka
Mhm.
COVID, right? There's little indicators of when a culture is coming out of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Whether you look back and study like the bubonic plague, right? Or if
Mm.
you study when there were major earthquakes in areas, when does it
Yeah.
show that people are coming back? I realize what I'm talking about. COVID was awful. Maybe it wasn't as bad as the bubonic plague, but there's little things that happen in society. And I do think that the idea of going back to the movies
Yeah.
will become one of them.
Okay.
And if you do look at what movies are coming out this year,
Yeah.
we talked about it the other night. One, it's so many sequels and reboots
Yeah.
because obviously we've grown bored enough that those are what we like. And that's
Yeah.
fine because some of them I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
Deadpool 3 comes out,
Mm.
Ghostbusters 4 comes out.
Ghostbusters. Can't believe they're still
I
going.
am so excited about
Yeah,
Ghostbusters
yeah,
coming out.
yeah. Yeah, no, they're putting money into the
So
movies.
I think that people are gonna streaming, and another one I have is about streaming services, but I do think that people are gonna go back to movies because I think that uh, it's one of those things that's different when you go and see it in the theater versus that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My next one. So there's like this kind of like news story going around that all these billionaires are building doomsday bunkers. So it was kind of along the line. I was like, I feel like there's going to be a big national disaster in America this year. I
Oh,
said, but
Jesus
and then not to
Christ.
be
Wow, thanks a lot. You ruined the fucking Lambo trip already.
not to be negative, but like something, not to be total conspiracy theorist, but like
Just not a super volcano. Because
not a
that
super
would kill
that
everybody.
no, we don't want a super
Then
volcano,
we're all dead.
but like like a Katrina size type. I have a feeling that like something like
Wow.
that will. I
Wow.
know, I know. I don't want it to happen,
No.
but I'm just saying there's all these doomsday bunkers. There's all these,
But with climate change
with
coming,
climate
already in the middle of
change.
it, yeah, something can
It's also
happen.
an election year, and I don't know why. Like crazy shit always happens on an election year,
Well,
like
it's
a
because people
national
need
disaster. Yeah,
the election people need
yeah,
something.
yeah. All right, what's yours?
All right, fine. I'll read my one related to what you just said.
Okay.
This will be the most batshit crazy election we've seen of the last
I know.
50
Well, it
years.
already is starting to be bad shit
This one's
crazy.
gonna be there, and I hate. Look, I've she twists my arm to vote. I should more. The thing is, most of the time, I can't get behind any of I'm more behind the candidates that all get kicked out before the primaries. By
I
the time they
know.
get down to the final two, I'm like, I don't give a. These
Yeah,
two are idiots,
idiots.
right? The old
Yeah,
South Park episode. Do I vote for turd sandwich, giant douche or a turd sandwich?
yeah.
Watch the old South Park electric
James lives
election
by South
episode.
Park.
Yeah, I love
That's
South Park for their political views.
I know
And
it is
that's the
funny.
thing. James, what side are you? I'm like, don't vote for an idiot.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we don't have
Unfortunately,
much of a
that's
choice.
most of it right
Oh,
now.
Robert Kennedy Jr.
I
could be good.
know. Yeah.
I keep saying I want to manifest Mark Cuban running for president.
Oh, I love Mark
Mark
Cuban to run
Cuban
for
would kick
president.
the shit out of some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he ain't there for the money. Like he ain't there for his own political interest.
Mm.
He's going to make way more if he's not president. And that's the problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, but here's the other part. But I did put something specific in there.
Okay.
I think that Jeffrey Epstein's list that is bound to
I
come out
have that.
is going to have a major impact.
That is
on the
what I
election.
have on mine. That was one of my other ones.
And I
is the
think
Jeff,
that
and
that's
it is going to be released like
yep,
any
it's
week, like
but
any
I
day
think
now.
that that's the big one to me. Of that one was waiting. People were pushing for that one to be released in an election year.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason for it.
100,000,000% James.
We did not discuss these beforehand, everyone.
We did not. We just are very much on the same
We
page.
might also just listen to and talk about the
Yeah.
same things all the
Yeah.
time. We are in our own little animal bubble. But
Yep. Okay, so
yes.
here was my top one.
Okay.
For predictions. AI. Everyone's gonna start to say we need to get rid of AI. Like I think like either like robots are gonna like kill people or like something negative bad is gonna happen with AI. And I mean that's also wishful thinking because AI just scares the shit out of me.
You want to hear the one I have?
What
No,
is it?
finish.
Yours close, but that was just like AI like turns like really negative. Like already it has like negative. I think a lot of people are like freaked out by it, but I think it's gonna mess something up. Like even just watching that movie. I think we talked about this last time. The World Ends on
Whichever one,
Netflix. Yeah, where like it's just
I had this one, and I'm
we
going to use
rely
it
on
as
it.
one of my top 5, but I
What?
literally wrote this down. AI is not as big as everyone thinks it is. This is a Y2K
Oh,
scare.
interesting. Oh,
I don't
Okay,
think
so
that.
you think it's not as big of a deal.
Not even fucking close. No.
Huh.
All
That's
the
what they want you to
even the
think.
smartest people that have said that there's this AI, it's way too controllable. Yeah, and you can theorize it, right?
Yep.
It's like theorizing a super volcano at this point.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Right.
happen, but
To what
we have more
level?
control over it than we
Yeah,
think we do.
totally. No,
So
I agree.
I think it's more of a scare thing. And I think that more people are going to embrace AI, and you kind of have to. Like at
I
a
know.
certain point in your job, if you don't understand it, like
Yeah.
you're
It's much like
in
any other
trouble. Yeah.
technology,
You can
unfortunately.
jump on board with it, or you can be behind
An
it and be
early
like, oh, I
adapter.
wish I would have done that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 At this point, you're not even an early adapter. Like you're in the second or
Yeah.
third realm of the curve.
Yeah, pretty
Like you
much.
have
Whatever that is from business
early
class.
innovator, uh,
Mm,
early
early
adapter,
innovator.
late adapter. Yeah, we're past the early innovator stage by far. We're into that the bell curve of
This is
economic
business
growth. Is
101 economic growth class,
I do
everyone.
love that graph. Is one of my favorites. I use it in a lot of talks.
Do you in all your
Yeah, what is it?
talks?
Third 16 to 34% of society. So we're already into that.
Like,
We're already into
you're a
that
nerd.
sector.
You're a nerd. All right, those were all my predictions. Any others that we
I had
missed?
one more.
Yeah, what is it?
Um, I think that we just did the tip of the iceberg of one of the greatest battles we will see in our generation,
What?
and the battle of the streaming services. I think we're going to see it
Mm,
2025 next year will be the real battle of the streaming services.
yeah,
But here's the caveat that I put in there because it's already started its rebranding. And I think that there's something out there about this. I got to find out more. But I think that you will see the Blockbuster logo rebranded and
no.
opened as some sort of entertainment venue, not necessarily blockbusters, but the experience that we've even talked about in here.
Yep.
We talk about
Okay.
going to pick out movies. I I think that Blockbuster will have been is already been purchased. They were purchased by Dish Network, I believe it was. You
Yeah.
can fact check me on that, but I think it was Dish Network bought Blockbuster when they were really going out. And really, it's just about owning the brand and the name. But
Hmm.
how many new documentaries and new things have come out with the Blockbuster name on it recently?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
I think
I
that they're
don't.
positioning for a comeback.
Okay.
Just the brand. It's not going to be anything like it was,
Right,
but
right, right.
right,
The brand
you slap a name on it, right?
Blockbuster. It's a great
Yeah,
name.
there.
I love it. All right. So, how about we'll end on this? Any like goals? Like I almost like hate resolutions and stuff because it's. I think I like either having like overall goals and like a word that you want to bring into 2024. Any goals or a word that you specifically?
Here's my January. I already wrote this one down, right?
Yep.
My January goal is one by the end of January. I want to kind of have the rest of my year's goals set up. I'm
Yep.
going to use January as the
As a
goal,
setup.
more so the habit setting. And
Yep.
it's the first one we talked about. I'm going to go back to getting up at like 5:36 in the morning
Yeah.
like I used to. I've had so much fun, sleeping until later sometimes, but getting back to like that type of really solid routine
Yep.
and not really. And the other one for my just what I need to do more of consistently, my food prep. I love my food prep because
Mm,
it saves me so much time and I just eat
I
better
know
when I
you're
do that.
normally you're really good at that for the
There's
most part.
times that I
Yeah.
am, but being super consistent with just those minor habits to
Yep.
free up those two things alone, just free up time in my day to get everything else done. So
Yep.
if I can make sure that those habits and I crush those habits for January, I'll be happy with my January
I love it.
because everything else will kind of come from
What's one word you want to encapsulate for 2024?
that. Superfragilisticexpialidocious.
You're
More so, I just wanted more mic time, so I picked a long one.
I wanted more mic time.
Um,
You're an idiot. um, well, mine. So January, I'm doing dry January. Everybody, follow along. I'll be doing my mocktails again. I also am cutting out processed sugar, which is always like, I hate like completely eliminating foods. Like people are like, no carbs, no, whatever, no dairy. And it's like, I hate like eliminating because then you feel like you're like punishing sometimes. But processed sugar, you can still have some sweets. Like I still have stuff, I can use honey, maple syrup, like we get creative with dates, and using like our fruits, but no processed sugar, no alcohol for January. Trying to get back to the gym 5 times a week, at least getting there. If I can get there 5 times a week, that'll be amazing. Even if I walk for 20 minutes one day, counts. And yeah, just doing more live shows, obviously growing the podcast, enjoying our little farm, our indoor farm of all of our animals, and enjoying time with you, James, and the podcast and
That's
you
why the
guys.
podcast and the Fiji, part of my favorites of the year, were
Yeah.
that was what is more revolved around.
Yeah.
I
I
think
love it.
my one word, I'm just gonna, I don't know. I think the word, my own version of the word innovate. Like
Mm.
you have something going, but how do you slowly innovate it one little
Yeah.
step at a time?
Yeah.
Make it a little better.
Yeah. I know. I was trying to think, like, I know, like, did you really just do that?
Innovation, burping into the microphone. It's
You
new.
guys, feel free to just, I don't even know what they could do, but I hit James for you. Yeah, my word, like, I feel like is like it's so silly. Like, happiness is silly, but it's like I was thinking like happiness, but I was thinking like stability. Just like it's hard to like.
Pick one and explain why.
I would say if I had to pick one, I mean, happiness is obvious. It's like who doesn't want to be happy? But you know what? Consistency.
Okay.
Consistency. Because I really want to get like there's some things that I wish I could be really consistent on and be better at being consistent at. And I feel like that's a good.
What would you be doing to know that you hit your
Well, that's the other thing too is like the structure. Like I was always thinking like structured, but like that's like not a fun word. But like finding a way to like measure my consistency too. Because that's the other thing, it's like how do you measure if you're
you
consistent?
know
What is
what's
consistency?
what's one of my goals in the January setting up for that
What?
is just is not necessarily journaling, but writing down what my day was at the end of
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big habit that I want to put in.
Yeah.
And getting back
Yep.
to reading is part of that. We were just talking about
Yeah.
that.
Reading.
I just have
Yeah.
to pick up some lighter books occasionally
Yeah,
versus like
James like
life-changing
likes
books.
to read like
I
literally
love
the
a heavy fucking
encyclopedia
book.
or like
Yeah.
some like
I
insane. I'm
love it.
like, how do you sleep after
You
that?
can't. That's why I don't read at night.
I
I read
know
during
you
the
need to
day.
run like fun. Like
I need a fun
you need
sleep
like a
book.
memoir. Like I feel like a memoir would be good for you.
I love a biography.
Yeah, like a good bio. You love a good bio.
But no, for me, so just to with your what you said, consistency, just journaling like what did I do to be consistent today?
Yeah, right,
Right? That
right.
can it's something as simple as that can
Yep.
help you figure out, oh, did I put that in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Well, guys, we love you so much. It has been an amazing year. Thank you so much for joining us, for being here, for listening and supporting us. It means the world to us. I mean, I feel like I don't even have to say how grateful we are for you guys and for doing this podcast and getting to do
You
this
guys are top 5 on
is
both our lists.
yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
all you're all
Yeah.
top fivers.
Yep. And we love you so much. We hope you have an amazing 2024. Obviously, we'll be back next week with more weird shit, more weird voicemails. Send in more voicemails. Again, if you have any weird shit that happened over the holidays, I have some more great weird dating stories. So make sure you send them in. Speakpipe. Wait, at
Speakpipe.
speakpipe.com/weird and proud pod. We'll get back to those next week, but just a great time to reflect and think about just how amazing it is to be able to have a following and a podcast like this with, just people that, that I feel like are my people. It's just nice to like find your people. And you guys are our people.
I
We
love
love that.
talking to our tribe.
Our tribe. All right, you guys, we love you so much. Happy New Year, happy holidays, and we'll see you next week.
Love you,
Love you,
weirdos.
weirdos. Bye.